Hi friends, welcome to the Green Table Talk with Mitch McKee. I am Mitchell.
I'm Savannah McKee. Did you say green table?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
not
definitely
green.
it's definitely a pilot.
Okay.
So we can always get that green later. Probably get it on sale now that St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So
True.
gotta wait for the sales.
Okay. Cool.
So how was your weekend?
Good. How was yours? Did you do anything fun and exciting?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I went to Bowl for Kids' Sake.
Bowl for Kids' Sake. I was there as well. It was a great time. What'd you think of it?
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I did not realize how big that bowling alley was.
It's huge. Did you see how big our giant eagle cake was?
Dude, so big.
That thing was gigantic.
How does one get that in?
I don't know. I don't know if they brought it in like sections and put it together, or if they just.
It was like the
a
size
truck.
of an actual bowling lane. Like I feel like I could have like bowled a
Bowled.
ball.
Yeah.
And it was like huge.
An inventive idea.
We could
Bowlable
make
games.
it in like a very interactive kind of bowling ball thing where like
Yeah.
that'd be kind of gross though.
We
Like,
can
would
work the
you eat it
details
after?
out next year.
Huh.
Awesome.
Yeah. So look, we had some mascots there too from the Clippers.
Okay, cool.
So I think some people really cared. They were all about the mascots, and there were some kids that like get away from me. And I think when I was a kid, I was definitely that like get away from me. I didn't really care for mascots. Still don't really. It's not my favorite mascots. Like people dressed up as things. For our Bowl for Kids' Sake in Delaware, I actually got to be the Ohio Wesleyan mascot.
Oh, that's cool.
We are the Battling Bishops, so I was a bishop.
Okay.
Within like 2 minutes, I was sweating. I think I lost like 10 pounds because I was just sweating in this costume.
Whew.
It was crazy.
Goodness.
Crazy.
That's a lot.
But what else happened? I think there was a face. No face painting. But there was the balloon. Oh my gosh.
That balloon artist was so talented. I saw one that was a unicorn and its nose lit up.
The nose lit up.
Yeah, there was an elephant on a ball.
It was
He
crazy.
did that. So talented.
Crazy. And then I started seeing pictures on Facebook of like all these other like animals. I'm like, how does one even begin to do these things?
It's insane. And did you see the staff member dressed up as the bowling pin?
Amazing.
Icing on the giant eagle cake.
I mean, should we have put her on the cake?
Maybe.
I mean, it was a big enough cake.
We could have had like, maybe next year we need to get more of them and have kids like bowl into live bowling, because that would be pretty funny.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. People were like winning prizes. We had Yeti cups for
That was
folks.
fun.
That was really neat.
Yeah.
The Yetis are nice.
Those are
Also
so
the
good.
Yeti.
Yeah.
Don't forget Yeti. This is not a Yeti, but it's nice.
Does the job.
Maybe next time I'll actually bring my Yeti.
That would be a good idea.
Would you have to raise like $250? to get this
Yeah.
Yeti?
So
Easy.
attainable.
Easy.
Very attainable.
Very attainable. So what, we had a lot of sponsors at this thing. There were like 64 lanes. At one point, like all of the lanes were like filled. I'm like, is like half of Columbus?
Yeah, we
bowling
had
alley?
our staff, matches, donors. It was a great time. Good chance to see everyone.
Okay, so I also need to talk about, I don't think parties are really good unless you have a good DJ. And that DJ was amazing.
Fire. He was great.
At one point, he was like, I'm going to play the Cupid Shuffle. And I was like, you doggone right. And so I went and did the Cupid Shuffle.
You were
like
just on it.
I mean, it should have gone viral.
It should have.
Because we were like rocking it. Anytime I do any of those line dancing things though, like I'm like sweating, like this is cardio, is this Zumba? Am I really out of shape? Like what's going on? Why do I feel this kind of way about these things? But like Brandon was like sweating and I was like, okay, so it's not just me. Maybe we're both out of shape. I don't know.
Maybe next year we just need a dance section for the DJ.
Dude, dance floor,
Yeah.
DJ, bowling alley, all the things that I love. I love bowling.
Yeah.
Do you like to bowl?
I love bowling. However, with my nails, I have to be careful.
You know what, my wife just talked about, we went bowling a couple weeks ago and she was like, my nails might chip. I was like, really?
Hey, it hurts, okay?
Does it?
It does, yeah.
Huh.
But that's okay because I like to bowl granny style.
Well, they also have these things where like you can like put the ball on it and like
push
it down.
Yeah.
That's
little
neat. That's
force.
like really, really neat.
Yeah.
So, do we know how much like we raised with Bowl for Kids' Sake?
I don't think the total numbers are in yet.
Okay.
We've still got all the tallying to come up. Hopefully with our next episode we can finally release that number.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good. I know it looked like everyone had a good time.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
There were hot dogs,
Chips, cake.
hot dog chips. The photo booth. Did you get a chance to do the photo booth?
I did. Me
Dang it.
and Penelope, the pin, and one of the other staff members got in the photo booth, had great pictures, and the guy that was doing it was super cool, so that way everybody who was in the pictures, everybody went home with a copy.
Are you serious?
Of the pictures.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
It was really
Sometimes
nice.
the photo booth, they're like, here's one. I'm like, what are we supposed to cut it in pieces and you each get a
Everybody
piece?
cut out a little picture.
Like, here's yours. Here, put it in there. There's not a frame that ever fits that. We should create a frame that fits photo booth pictures. There is no
That would be
frame
so
that is
cool.
like that kind of.
The thinness,
It's thin.
the
Like, you
length.
kind of have to stick it in like another frame.
I
and it
stick
looks
mine
like,
up on like a mirror or in a
yeah,
bulletin
but
board.
I think we like that would be the fundraiser.
We got this.
We could create these things and
Yeah.
make money off of it.
Good.
All for the cause.
All for the cause. For the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids' sake.
For the kids' sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? Anything else with Vote for Kids' Sake? I mean, oh, Matt Barnes was there.
Yes, he was.
I was like, oh my god, we got like celebrities at this
Yeah,
thing?
Pig
Like,
of the Year.
what? Like, that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
it was
really
really
cool.
great for him to show up
Yeah.
and hang out with us, talk about how great he has felt as a big
Yeah.
staff.
I'm really not like into like celebrities like, oh my god, like geek out, there's a few. I have like a list. We'll talk about those later.
Okay.
But like I was like, oh man, Matt Barnes, he's kind of a celebrity in Columbus. Should I take a selfie with him? And then I was going to, and then I got really nervous, so I didn't do it.
I'm sure he would let you if you're like,
He
hey,
probably would've.
Matt, my name's Mitchell. Can we get a selfie real quick here at Bowl for Kids' Sake? I'm sure he would have said yes.
Probably
He's so
would've.
nice.
Probably would have.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed my opportunity, so we got to get him back. Maybe we can get him at one of these things.
That would be
Oh,
cool.
He's gonna be so much better than us because he does that on a like regular basis.
Hey, this is a coaching opportunity. A
Oh, yeah,
professional
he can
development
mentor us,
opportunity.
and
There
all
we
we
go.
do.
Mentoring is not just for kids.
That's so true.
It'll
That
be
is
great.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk to the producer about getting Matt Barnes at this. Matt,
We're calling you.
we want you, Matt Barnes. He's with Channel 6, right? 4. How many channels are there?
I don't know. I don't watch TV.
Me neither.
I listen to the radio.
I'm all about the Netflix, so like.
There we go.
I never
And
know.
Disney Plus.
Oh my God, Disney Plus. Okay.
Greatest thing.
Yeah. So we have a guest that we're gonna bring onto the show.
We do. Yeah.
Nikiah Kerr,
Yep.
and she's a match sports specialist here.
Yes, she is.
So it'll be kind of fun to kind of see like what is that? What is that?
What is a match
What is
sports
match
specialist? Nikiah, come on
Come on,
in.
Nikiah!
And the crowd goes wild.
Woo-hoo!
Good morning.
We are. Good morning / afternoon. I think it's afternoon now. I think it's almost
Watch
1. It's
us.
almost 1. It's
Here,
almost 1.
Skin 30.
It's skin 30.
We're not passing here.
There's so many ways that we can say this. Oh
my
so,
All
We're
right.
so happy that you're with us.
Well, thank you for welcoming me or allowing me to join you guys.
Yeah. You're our first guest. Like, how crazy is this?
I'm honored.
Yeah.
Come
So,
down
like,
history.
when we're extremely famous, you're like, hey, I was their first guest.
I was the first.
Because we are definitely going national. Not sure when, but it's happening.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
So Nikiah, talk to me a little bit about what is a match support specialist?
So, it's a person of many hats, I would say. But I would say that match support is exactly what the name says, support of the match. We support not just the match relationship, but we believe that in the match relationship is the parent, who's a very important component to the success of the match. But we also do a little bit of trying to help and make sure that the mentor and the child are interacting not just safely, but that they're enjoying their time together, that they're getting something out of the time. And we also are there to support and coach the mentor as they're coaching and mentoring their little. So we're supportive in multiple aspects, not just the child safety side, which is number one, but we want to make sure that the mentors feel supported throughout their mentoring experience, as well as making sure that they know that the parent is integral. And we also help with offering opportunities that happen in the community. So like if you want tickets to an event, we might have connections. Or if you're struggling with what to do in your match, we try to suggest or make suggestions of things that could be fun for them to do together. We look at helping them create goals together. So helping the child with whatever is most important for them to help them become the best version of themselves.
Okay,
That is so neat.
That is really neat. So what does match support look like? Like, how do you offer those things? How does match support happen?
So it can happen in a multitude of ways. It could be through phone call, it could be in person, it could be through text message, it could be through email. Primarily, we like to have a phone call or in person contact with not just the volunteer, but with the parent and with the child.
Okay.
So with the, and there are, of course, two different styles of mentoring or ways to get involved. So doing the school-based, you're in person constantly. We're always talking to the kid, we're always talking to the mentor, and we'll ask questions just to see, how are things going? How are you feeling about your match? And at any point, if at any point, have you felt uncomfortable or have you felt like there's no connection or struggle within your match? So that's the school-based side, but the community-based side, we're calling, or if we can see you in person, we love to see you in person.
Yeah.
So if we can meet up at a coffee shop, or if we can meet up at a McDonald's, or come to your house and visit, and just check in and see how things are going. We like to do it that way too, but we typically, match support consists of asking questions to find out the relationship, how things are going in the relationship. Are there any safety concerns? Is the kid wearing their seatbelt in the car?
Seatbelts,
They're with you.
very important.
Very, very important for us. Do they feel comfortable? Do they feel like they have a rapport built?
Okay.
Are they having conversation? What do you guys talk about? And are you seeing any places where it's like, I want to get to know more about my kid? Or from a parent standpoint, I wish that they would do more of this. So we try to give coaching to the mentor to let them know this is kind of how the parent's feeling.
Okay.
So we're kind of the go-between for everybody.
Okay.
And I feel like we're almost, if you want to call it, the glue that keeps us all connected.
That's
That is
awesome.
so neat. So, like, match support specialist is very unique to Big Brothers Big Sisters. I mean, like, there's all sorts of great mentoring programs out there.
Yeah.
But this is so unique that there's someone, you become a mentor, and all of a sudden you have this support system. So you're not just kind of being thrown in there and just like, well, I don't know what to do. Because, mentoring is not always the easiest thing to do. And so knowing that you have someone there that's like in your corner to kind of guide you through. And I believe like you're with them the entire time, that entire length of the match, which is really, really, really cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a match support specialist?
Well, in June, this will be my 2-year.
Wow.
I'll be 2 years into this job. I feel like I've been here my whole life.
Oh, that's so great.
I feel like I've been so connected and so invested in all of the matches that I interact with that they become like, I'm part of their family, they're part of mine. So
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I think, just in general, just having extra support.
yeah.
You're kind of like a mentor to the mentor in a way. That's so neat.
Yeah.
So you've been here for 2 years almost.
Mhm.
So you must have like a ton of great stories. Can you
Yeah.
like tell us a couple of the stories?
Oh gosh.
Give us your best one.
Oh my gosh. There's
Which is so hard, right?
It
'Cause
is,
there's like
it's
so
really hard.
Hard to
many.
pick and choose.
Yeah, because I don't maintain all of the same matches all the time. So,
Mhm.
like I said, there's the school-based program, there's the community-based side. And at one point, I am still doing both, but I'm primarily school-based.
Mm.
When I was doing more of both and kind of focused more on the community-based side, one of my favorite matches was a couples match. So, a wife and husband were mentoring twins. And
That's so cool.
yeah, so and they were fraternal twins. So the lady was mentoring the girl, and the male was mentoring the boy. And they were, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure they're still matched to this day.
Oh, wow.
They were phenomenal as a couple. They had opportunity to interact with their mentees individually, but of course they're husband and wife, so they would take their mentees out together all the time. And they just noticed, of course, because yes, they're boy and a girl, so they're naturally different, but just seeing the differences in the kids and how they interacted, whether it was through conversation or just one was more reserved, one was more outgoing, one was more like high energy, and the other one was not as high energy, but they kind of knew how to ebb and flow because they were older, so they had kids of their own. So they came with a little bit more experience, but as a match support specialist, I felt like there were times where even though they had their own kids, I was able to help them see their perspective exactly all of their story prior to their mentees, but I know that they didn't come from the same neighborhoods.
Yeah.
They didn't know they lived the same lives as these kids. So for me, it was like, I'm there supporting you guys with these kids and the life experiences that they come from, and kind of helping them see that you relate. You're not that disconnected or that far removed that you can't relate to these kids. So
awesome.
But they were one of my favorites because to this day, I feel like they are still going strong with their kids. They support them. Those kids love them to no end. And I don't know, I have like tons and tons of pictures, of course, of all my matches, for the most part, that I keep. And yeah, you can just tell that there's a real bond that becomes created. And yeah.
That's so cool. Like, I think it's really cool to like be able to like get them to see, because not everyone is coming from the same backgrounds, and so if you can give them a different perspective to kind of look and be able to think outside the box of like some things, I think that's really cool. But I think that's what makes that role so important.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like the mentors are like, okay, this is great. This is what I need to be able to just pick up the phone, call you, text you, or even email you, be like, hey, kind of hit a wall with this.
Yeah.
Help me like talk through this with me.
Right.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
So that was like community based. So with school based is a little different because you're like bringing stuff, right? Bringing activities and stuff. So tell me a little bit about that.
So elementary school, the focus is more literacy.
Okay.
So we have what's called our literacy kits. I call them lit kits. Lit is a thing in today's world.
We say lit.
Yeah,
like,
we
that's
can
a
say
thing.
lit.
It's the lit kit.
Okay.
You have to make literacy and reading,
Fun.
interesting to kids. And at the elementary level, so that's our focus. So it might look like in the kits, there's a ton of resources that we bring to the matches, but of course they're building a relationship. So it's not tutoring. The focus is building the relationship first and foremost, because we believe that if you build a relationship with a child, they come to trust you. And when I can trust you, then I can learn from you. So that helps.
So true.
Like, think about it. Any teacher that you've had in school, the ones that you learn from the best are the ones that you connect with the most.
For sure.
You can connect with them because you trust them, you feel like they have your best interest at heart.
There's a science behind all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not just doing this
When your
for no
guard
reason.
is down a little bit, when you trust them,
Exactly.
that safety's there.
Exactly. And in the school base I work primarily with, I do elementary and middle school. Elementary, again, is literacy focused. And my matches at the elementary level, the kids are just so full of life. They come with lots of energy all the time. They're
Yes,
excited
they do.
every week, and they love to see these people come every week and know that they're gonna come every week. They expect it every week. So yeah, it's a lot of fun on that side. Middle school is fun too, but of course you're dealing with a little bit more like hormones.
Middle school.
Yeah, middle school is a little bit different.
Love them, but
It's a handful.
Yeah, and the focus is both academic based and it's social emotional learning. Elementary is literacy, so it's got both components too, the social emotional and the academic. But at the middle school level, you're kind of like helping them see like, okay, where am I now? Where do I want to be? And in both sides, you are doing what's called a youth outcome development plan, creating goals. So you're not just there coming every week and thinking that, okay, what are we really doing here? We're not just playing games. We're not just doing fun activities, but we're really honing in on how can I make this child better and build the relationship that will last beyond. That can last beyond.
Yeah.
The goal is to get all of these matches, if they can, and if they're suitable for it, to go community based. So they can see each other outside of school too.
That's really cool.
So you are obviously doing an amazing job, and you're very busy. You're very busy.
Yes.
But I think there's like so much power in the role that you have. I think it's just amazing. Hopefully, your mentors are being like, you rock, because like everything that I'm hearing, like, you're amazing.
Yeah,
I gotta get more of you.
I hope that's how they feel. But I always like people to know that match support is not just police you. We're not just there to be like a helicopter. Are you being this? Are you doing that? Are you not doing this? But we're whatever you need us to be throughout the life of your match. So if you are a mentor who came in and you have a know-how about you, then I'm there to be your cheerleader. But if you're somebody who comes in and it's like, I don't have kids of my own. I don't know anything about this kid, or I don't know anything about their background, their where they come from or anything like that, but that doesn't disqualify you as a mentor. So I'm there to support however you need me to support. You know, I'm going to ask standard questions, but I just need every match to know, every person, potential bigs, we're there to support you as you support your kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's so nice that, like you said earlier, it's multiple hats.
Exactly.
It's multiple roles within a role.
Yeah.
It's nice that that's adaptable and as needed fit.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think you touched on before that I would like to maybe touch on a little bit more is like that piece with the families too. So like, you know, obviously, you know, that sometimes they need things, and like how are ways that you're able to support them in those needs?
So as we get, like I said, so in those instances with matches where they need things like tickets or something, there are a bunch of different community resources that we like to try and tap into. So if we're made known or given notice of some resources within the community, then we will try to connect families as well. So like, we're not just there supporting the match. We believe that helping the child goes home every day. So
That's right.
you support the family, which supports the child too. So it's a domino effect. And whatever resources we know of or are in contact with, and a family says like, oh, well, I need help with these bills or resources such as appliances, or like if we know about places or know about people who are willing to help us with that case, we'll connect them.
Yeah.
And that's.
Which I'm sure, like, I mean, you know, Central Ohio in general, like there's just so many resources out there.
Yeah.
So you have to have at least a little bit of knowledge of some of those things, but be able to work with your team of folks to be like, hey,
absolutely.
like, so it's not even just on you, like there's this team effort of like, hey, got this situation going on, let's talk through this, what do you guys know, let's put our brains together and support that family. That's really,
That's
so,
really cool.
so when a parent says, hey, I want my child to be in the program, they don't realize that they're just not only getting a mentor, but they're getting even more support than they realized that they were probably signing up for, which is amazing.
Yeah, they're getting an entire new support system.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
A whole community is being added to them, and hopefully they are open and willing to say like, okay, I'm gonna do the things that we're asking, because of course, like I said, there are things that we ask. So like, you do surveys to kind of, for us to be able to know the strength of your relationships. We want to know for the child how they're doing, and how they feel about themselves, how they feel about school, how they feel about home, what are the other adults that might be in their life. So those types of things are being looked at, but we want them to know that we're not doing it for naught. It all has a purpose, it all has a place, and as a family, we want you guys to know that we're here for you, you know?
Yeah.
That is so
That's
great.
really cool.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for enlightening us on all the things that happen in the match sport specialist role, and it's a lot.
It is.
So we probably won't take up more of your time, because I'm sure you're very busy.
You have support to provide.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
But thank you for the incredible work that you do.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's a joy.
Yeah.
It's a joy.
It must be like, it makes it fun to come to work, I would imagine. So
Absolutely.
that's really neat. Well, I feel like we've come to our time.
I think we have.
So, what do you think about this pilot? You think it went okay?
I like this. I'm excited to see where we can take it. I hope we can get a green table for this green table talk.
How about
I think
next
it's
time we
got
write the
a-
word green on this one, and
I
just
like
say,
it. I like it.
and we'll just gradually like move our way to green.
A little by little, it gets
Little
more
by
green.
little. And
Okay.
so we're like in the second season, and then we're like full out green.
Love it. Love it.
Well, guys, it's been fun. Hopefully you learned something about match sport specialists and a little bit more about Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm Mitchell.
I'm Savannah, and thanks for tuning in with us.
Thanks for joining us. See ya.